All right, here we go. Welcome to the Profit Toolbelt podcast. Now, this show is just for construction and contracting business owners who are interested in the business of the contracting business. So if you want to work smarter and not just harder, you are definitely in the right place. Today's guest is going to be Phil Risher, and we're going to be talking about something that is going to be of interest or of frustration to you, one of the two, really. How do I deal with negative Google reviews? It could be Google, it could be Yelp, it could be Houzz, whatever reviews you might be dealing with. Also, how can I increase the number of reviews I'm getting, and how can I increase the quality of the reviews I'm getting? And here's why this episode is important, because it's one of the small changes you can make that will have a big impact on your business, right? So small amount of smart effort, huge amount of long-term value. Why would you say no to that? Now, look, today is going to be full of interesting tidbits, and it makes me think about something that you might find this curious: morel mushrooms. This might be a funny question, but have you ever gone out to pick morels? I love morel season. It's coming up out where I live. It's near Mother's Day, but the morels only come out the year after a forest fire. So it's just crazy if you think about it, because we get forest fires that are really, really hot, and they burn the ground so bad that it turns white like 3 inches down. How the heck could anything grow there? But morels do, and they come the first year after a fire. And I grew up picking mushrooms with my family. Morels in the spring, and then in the fall, chanterelles and pine mushrooms and boletus. And they're mushrooms. You think they'd be easy to find, right? It's not like they run away from you. But I've been picking them since I was a little kid, and it's hard to be patient when you're a little kid carrying that big bucket through the forest. But my mom taught me a trick years ago when we were out mushroom picking. When you find the first mushroom, stop and don't pick it. Just wait and look at it. And it sounds crazy if you think about it. Like, don't wait, don't pick it. Just wait and look at the thing. And you might see it from, let's say, 12 feet away. And what I found is the craziest thing happens. I can see that one mushroom and it's right in front of me. It's the only mushroom in the entire forest, right? But my mom taught me to stop and look at it. And when you do that, other mushrooms suddenly appear. You just calm yourself, right? You just calm yourself, and suddenly the forest comes alive, and it's just like this. And they're everywhere. And you think, I was just walking there. How did I not see them? When I was a little kid, I didn't have the perspective, right? I saw a mushroom, I picked the mushroom, and I would run to find the next one. And my mom would come behind me and fill her entire bucket until I learned the trick. Stop. Just chill out for a second. Consider that one mushroom, look at it for a minute, and others will appear. That's the perspective we need in our business. And that's the perspective Phil is going to bring to this episode, right? When you've decided, when you, as a business owner, standing up a little straighter, shoulders back, chin up, when you have decided it's time to get to the next level, that's the kind of perspective you're looking for. You're not going to get to the next level by stooping down. You're going to get to the next level by looking up, looking forward, looking ahead, right? That's what the whole show is about. So today's podcast is going to be full of great ideas and action items. Fantastic. You're going to hear real stories about real contractors in the same situation you're facing every day, getting negative or low Google reviews, maybe not getting them at all. And think about this show. This show is always trying to give you lots of value. Heck, I give away free business tools all the time. Have you taken advantage? Have you stopped and gone, hey, I liked what we heard about today. How can I get more? Where's the next mushroom, right? You might think about the fact that you need all of them to turn your business around, but you don't. You just need one. You just need to get started. You just need one to get started. Just like my mom taught me, you get that first mushroom and it'll lead to the others. So take action. Something you're going to learn from myself or Phil, probably Phil, to be real, today is going to be that one action that moves you down a path of success, right? So think about the morels in your life. Think about finding that one mushroom, that one place to start. And everything that leads after that is just more success. And I want you to find that one thing, because once you do, you do. You just can't turn back. You can't unlearn it. For those of you who are new to the show, welcome. You might be wondering what this podcast is about. It's not about mushroom picking. You might have thought that. But what I do on this show is I show contractors how to get back in control of their construction business, even if they don't know where to start. And the truth is, you don't need a lot of extra time or a business degree. There's no magic to it. You just need simple systems. And say that and take a deep breath. I just need simple systems, no more overcomplicating things. Those simple systems are going to give you quiet confidence. And for way too long, the industry's been keeping secrets. People around you are successful, but they're not sharing with you why or how they got successful. Well, I'm going to put an end to that. So on this show, in this podcast, you're going to learn about 3 simple systems in 3 places: in the office, on a job site, and in your shop. All right. More important, I also show people the secrets of business success that start with mindset, how to work smarter, not just harder, how to have a mindset of growth, how to look at where other people see problems, you see opportunities. Where other people see opportunities, you see potential challenges. It's a different way of seeing the world. The regular media, if you listen to the radio or watch TV, they're always talking about scarcity. We talk about abundance here, and we talk about how to get it and how to be the person who can get it. So let me talk about mindset for a second. Here's the dad jokes some of you are waiting for. We do dad jokes on this show, and I'm not good at them, and I still do them. I got a couple here. These are given to me by my buddy Carlos, and I can't wait to share them with you. I can't wait to hear you groan and then rewind so you can think about them and tell them to your own kids later tonight. Hey, what is a New Year's resolution? Well, that's something that goes in one year and out the other. A little piece of advice I learned this from somebody near and dear to me and my family. It said, don't let your worries get the best of you. Remember, even Moses started out as a basket case. You got that one. Hey, what did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies. You can tell that one to your kids as they come back from school. Hey, kids, how was school today? What'd you do today? Nothing. What'd you learn today? Nothing. Then you drop that joke on them. Hey, guys, you know what the janitor said when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies. Then they'll groan. They'll go to their room. And you know what? You left them with a smile. They'll say, I got the coolest dad in the world. He doesn't even care what anybody thinks about him. I can tell by the shirt he's wearing. Hey, speaking of family, my sister bet that I couldn't build a car out of spaghetti, and I'm pretty handy. So you should have seen her face when I drove past her. That one got me. How do you follow Will Smith in the snow? Well, you follow the Fresh Prince. Boom. There you go. A couple of dad jokes for you to get you in the right mindset. Open your mind to the possibilities in front of you that Phil and I are going to share. I'm going to throw those dad jokes in the garbage. Look, if you're a business owner who's curious to find ways to get this business running profitably, if you want to have more time off so you can do the things you love, right now I'm in the middle of planning my annual fishing trip with my buddies. What could be better than that? I need to plan for that. If you want to have a business where you go fishing trip, golf trip, see your favorite football team, let's say your favorite college football teams playing across the country, you need to plan a way to do that. I'll show you how, right? Listen to the show. We'll help you with the simple systems to get there. Build a team you can rely on. Anything like that, that's what this show is about. I'm a business owner just like you. I come from the trades just like you. I'm also a business coach. And the only people I work with are construction and contracting business owners who want to get to the next level in their business. Now, I host this podcast because one day I would be honored to be your business coach. As a matter of fact, I have a team of business coaches that I have personally hand-selected and trained, and I continue to support. I have very high expectations for the people that join my team, and I'm proud of every single one of them. So as you listen to this podcast, do yourself and myself a favor. Think and wonder if my team might be the right tool to help you get to the next level. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go into business coach mode right now. I'm going to challenge you because in this episode, you're going to hear Phil, you're going to hear me, you're going to hear something, learn something, realize something, whatever it is. I want you to take action in the next 24 hours. In the next 24 hours. So if you're munching on a sandwich today, because it's lunchtime, the next time you're munching on the next sandwich, you have to take action from something today, something. So this podcast has been built from the ground up to educate, inform, and inspire you. So I'm going to get in your head. I'm going to ask you the inspirational question we started with. Are you happy being a contractor who runs a few crews, or are you ready right now to be a business person who just happens to run a construction company? By the end of today's episode, you're going to know the answer. So let's get to it. Is that Mr. Phil Risher?
Hey, Dom.
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. It's good to be back on the line with you, although it feels like you and I have been talking a lot lately.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was just like last week we were talking.
Last week we were talking. You're a guest here on the Profit Toolbelt podcast, but I mean, you did such a good job on the pre-interview that I already booked you for my other show, which is all about cabinetry.
Yeah, I love it. We work with some cabinet makers and furniture restoration companies, so I love that
All
type of
sorts of
business
stuff.
too.
Yeah. And you're in Maryland.
Yeah,
Beautiful. I'm supposed to be in Maryland later next year. Supposed to be. We'll see. My son
yeah,
plays lacrosse, so this all hinges on my son.
yeah. Well, Maryland is the prime time lacrosse spot,
Oh,
so I'm
is it
sure you'll
ever?
be out here a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's trying out for a bunch of teams. He loves it. He plays field lacrosse and he's a defender. So he's a kid with that big 6 foot pole, whacking everybody and getting whacked. And yeah, he loves it.
Yeah,
So we'll
that's what I
see.
was about to ask you. Defender, he must be out there hitting people pretty good.
He is. Yeah. He comes home. He's like, Dad, look at this bruise. Actually, the other day he hurt his thumb. So he had to go to the hospital. And we're like, okay, Joe, his name's Joseph. Joe, when the doctor says, where'd you get all these bruises? Please don't start to
Yeah,
whimper and say, can you ask my parents to leave the room? Because then I'll be in big trouble. Right. But
yeah. Does he keep track of how many sticks he snapped on people or anything?
yeah, no, he doesn't. But
Doesn't.
he doesn't go in light. I mean, he's such a nice, loving kid. And then you put the helmet on and I watch him like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I will say this: he leads his team in penalty minutes, which is not good because that's usually how you give up a goal. Anyways, it's not a lacrosse podcast. We're here to learn from. Hey, listen, just getting us started here. Maybe this is a good way to do the intro because I'm going to ask you something, but you got to include how you came up with that name, Phlash Consulting. So, for people, by the way, who are listening to this as an audio, you can't see the cool background Phil's got, but Phlash is spelled Phlash Consulting. But let me ask you this question, Phil, to get started. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Who the heck are you? And how is it you come to be speaking to all of these forward-facing contractors all over the world?
Well, I'm Phil Risher, owner of Phlash Consulting, and we partner with local service businesses and then we
Mm,
help them increase their sales and keep their schedules full. And how did I get to this point? I used to be the director of business development at an air duct cleaning company,
that's right.
and it was around a $3 million business. And when I went to work there, my background is in sales and digital marketing, and
Mm.
I was there for 1 year and we literally blew this thing up like 3x profit,
Oh, okay.
like
Blew it up in the good way, not like
in a good way.
destroyed it. Yeah.
Like implemented a lot of technology and automations and digital marketing stuff to help them grow and scale. And the way that Phlash came about, the name was actually the owner of that company. He, after 1 year, he starts telling all his friends about how awesome that I'm helping him grow his business. And he's
Oh,
like, dude,
nice.
you need to go out and be a consultant.
Yeah.
And so then he's like, here's 3 people, like go talk to them and work with them
That's nice.
and I'll be your first client. And you need to call your company Phlash Consulting because your name is Phil and my wife's name is Ashley, and
Oh,
I
okay.
call
I
her
got you.
Ash. So then he said Flash. And then I was like, well, you can't be slow and be called Flash. So let me add this lightning bolt
Yeah.
over here because we're pretty quick with what we do. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, just stuck.
It's nice. I like it. I like it when there's a good origin story behind the name, right?
Yeah. So our first client gave us the name Phlash Consulting and it just stuck.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And you come about this like in a real grassroots sort of way. You were brought into an air duct cleaning company, which is very competitive
Yep.
and not top of mind. Like nobody's window shopping for air duct cleaning.
No.
But you were brought in as a fix it turnaround guy there, and you took it from three to what you mentioned revenues. So are we allowed to say
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
where you took it, or you can do it by
Yeah,
trucks or
so
however?
now they're around 5, 6 million,
Oh
something like
wow.
that. But within that first year, we really focused on just tightening up the profit because there was a lot of opportunity to not spend any more money, but really generate a lot more profit. And
Yeah,
so,
and this is why
yeah,
you and I get along. That's
yeah,
why
hey,
you're on board.
profit too,
Well,
huh?
because it's not about it isn't about increasing sales. It's really about being more profitable. Sales
Exactly.
is the usually the leading indicator, and then profitability is the lagging. But you got to be chasing profits, not sales.
Exactly. So I'll give you like one thing that we did was in their business, they had 2 different lines. They would work as with their contractors. So they would work with HVAC contractors and basically
Right.
like do the work, and then they would give them a cut for the referral in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one channel, and then the other one was just regular COD work with just normal people that come in through
Cash on
Google or whatever.
COD is cash on demand, or is it a?
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't know
cash
if
on
that was an
demand.
air duct cleaning lingo. I'm
Yeah,
not up on my air duct cleaning lingo
yeah. Just like normal
dictionary.
retail customers that you didn't have to pay a referral commission
Right.
to HVAC contractors.
Yeah.
So they were heavy on HVAC contractor referrals. And I'm like,
Margin.
well, yeah, I'm like, margin is going way down. So why don't we just focus on getting these retail customers?
Sure.
And so that's where we started focusing on like building a solid brand on Google, Google reviews, which what we're going to talk about,
That's what we're
and
going to
a lot
talk
of
about
those
today.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good. And so, but that also increased their sales, but also increased their profitability.
exactly.
I love it. Yeah. It's interesting. You would think it'd be easier for me to find guys like you, but it's not. Like as guests for the show,
Yeah.
it's quite a process to get on my show. I'm sure you noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do
Yeah.
that on purpose because I'm cautious of the audience. I'm here to sort of guard at the gate for that.
Yeah.
Um, and you
And
already, so you already mentioned, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we appreciate that because I'm a listener of the podcast as well. And I'm
Oh,
like,
nice.
and so yeah, I think that and I have my my own podcast and show too. And it's like I don't want to bring people on that are just gonna be, talking about things that are not relevant. Like I've been in the trades, I know what it takes to actually grow a business. And so it's
Yeah.
nice to have people on your show that actually speak the language and have done it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And I like the fact that everybody's out there thinking they're doing their own thing on their own, and we're actually kind of all doing the same thing,
Yeah,
right? We're
exactly.
reinventing the wheel everywhere. They're like, what if it had no corners on it and it rolled?
Yeah, exactly. We're all just
Yeah,
trying to add value.
I know. Yeah. The other thing I find, and I'm going to give this as an open compliment, is that everybody I've spoken to cares about their customer. They care about their customer, and to a certain extent, they care about their people. Sometimes they have people headaches, and they don't care as much about one certain person on their team, but they still care. They're not flash in the pan or the guys that chase FEMA around the country trying to do scam work. Like they're legitimate contractors growing a good business, proud of what they do.
Yeah.
All right, so that's enough navel gazing for right now because I asked you to come on here, and this is why we went and sought you. I had Sarah hunt you down. I didn't realize you were already a listener of the show. Otherwise, I would have said, "Hey, if Phil is listening, Phil, can you contact us and be a guest?" But negative Google reviews is a it comes up all the time. And negative Google, negative Yelp, negative whatever, it doesn't matter. I think you're going to be able to speak to all of those. But
Yeah.
what do I do? Walk us through the plan, the high points, the gotchas, all that stuff on if I'm a company that's getting negative or low Google reviews, what do I need to do to turn that around?
Yep. So the first thing, and this was actually at that air duct cleaning company, it was an issue at first because they only had like 30 some Google reviews. And the problem was is that they were getting negative reviews, but they weren't counteracting it with positive reviews. They were
Mm.
just sitting back and letting whatever views came in. That's what happened.
Uh,
And so the first thing I would recommend is if you just are getting a bunch of negative reviews, the first thing is look at what your process is and see, is there something that's literally wrong? And is there a reason why you keep getting bad Google reviews? A lot of
right.
times people say like, well, these are just cranky customers. And which that may be the case,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe there's a way that you can turn them into happy customers. So like one way that we did this with a lot of companies that we work with is like, if the customer remembers your name, as in the technician that went out there, they're 9 times out of 10 going to give you a positive review because if they remember your name, it's probably a positive experience.
Mm,
It's not just I'm leaving a review for Phlash Consulting or, Profit Toolbelt or whatever. It's I'm leaving a review for Phil.
mm,
And at that point, it builds the bond between them. And so I would look at your process if you keep getting negative reviews and just figure out like, is there something that's actually broken or are there small tweaks that I can make that can build a relationship between my technician and customer?
right. So if let's say we got a guy on the team and his name's Dave, just as an example, we're not picking on any Daves out there, but if you keep getting reviews that say, Dave came in with dirty boots, or Dave was late, Dave, you would figure that out pretty quick. You go, we got a problem with Dave. But people often don't even go look at their reviews and pay attention to what can be fixed easily.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing that we see a lot of is like, I just got a negative review and it's my uncle's or their uncle's sister's mom who's, upset about some random thing, or it's not even a real customer of ours and they left a review because they misspelled our name and they just left us a bad review. So
Oh.
there's actual ways that you can respond to those reviews and also report them to Google and have Google remove them. We have one client that it's a law firm and they got a negative review from the person that got divorced because
Oh.
they were mad that they got divorced.
So wait, they were representing, let's say, the husband and the wife got mad, or vice versa, whatever.
Vice
And so
versa, exactly.
And so, okay.
They took him to task so much in court that they left 3 bad negative reviews for the company.
Wow.
And it's not even their customer, which is the thing that was bad.
And
And
does
so
Google care? Or does Google say, well, the public has spoken?
exactly. So you have to go in and you can report it to Google and say not a customer or inappropriate or discriminatory or, you know, competitor or whatever you designate. And then Google's going to go in and look at it, quote unquote. But this specific instance, the guy created 3 fake accounts and then went in and left reviews. So we actually reported it every single week for an entire year and they finally took it down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so it's not just like report it and hopefully it gets taken down. Sometimes it's that easy, but a lot of times you have to go in and report it. And the way that you do that, you just go onto Google. When you click on the review, there should be like a 3 dots or a little flag, and you can report it directly to Google that way. And if you have a review that's out there and it's like, this is not our customer, this is an old thing that doesn't make any sense, then go in and at least report it.
Mm.
But another very, very important thing to do is make sure that you respond to all your 1-star reviews.
Yeah, I was going to say that because you can get a review that's legitimately like we showed up late and they really lost their marbles on it. And yeah, we were late. So what do I say? Or they can see something differently than we did. They're like, they didn't fix my, I don't know, I would just say eaves trough. Like they didn't fix my gutter. And you're like, we don't do gutter. We were here to do the window and we
Yep.
didn't break that. But does anybody want to hear that? So what do I
Yeah.
do when I get a negative or a low review?
Yeah, so there's 2 parts to that. The first one is this is where we always start with our customers. Like, go to your CRM, whatever you use to keep track of your customers, and look them up. Are they an actual customer of yours? Who is this person? Is it a spouse of this person, or are
Okay.
they in your database? Can you call them and like rectify the situation? Because 9 times out of 10, like, people may have called in and then they didn't get the response and they went on Google to bash you. So like, figure out, are they in your
Mm.
database? Have they used you before? If they have, then call them and say, hey, we saw your review, like, what's going on, and try to actually solve it, which I think most companies want to give good service.
Yeah, and I think having that it can be. I could see people getting a little bit nervous calling somebody who just left a negative review. The tone of voice I use should be very service oriented, right? Like, hey, Phil, it's Dom. I was just checking out the Google reviews. There must have been a disconnect. I don't know what happened. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's going on? Just keep it open ended, but neutral to positive, because they might need to just yell at you, and then by the end of it, they're probably going to be okay.
I completely agree. And I think a lot of times what happens is, whether it was right or wrong, either way, that person felt that way. And so if we just think about this, like, that's how they felt, whether it was interpreted that way or not, is like, let's just think that we need to solve this problem for them. And if we go at it the way that you're recommending, which I recommend that as well, is like, we can usually get to a solution that they're going to be happy with.
Mm.
So that's kind of the first thing, is pick up the phone and call them. What we see a lot of times, and we recommend do not do this, is a lot of people take it extremely personal, and like, it's your business, it's your baby, and
Yeah.
people are throwing, poop on your business.
Yeah, we just roofed that house. It was raining. It was horrible. We did everything we could. We took care of things. We didn't drive on the lawn. And they came back and said, you drove on the lawn. You're like,
Yeah. And there's a lot of other things that are getting thrown at us as business owners. And so then we're going to have to go and try to like cool off. And so a lot of times we see like business owners will send us a response back like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I looked him up and da 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 da. And it's like, hold on, dude. Like, this is not going to help the situation. And so, yes, you can call them. Let's say that you call them and they don't answer. Well, the response that you need to have, there's 2 parts to this. The first thing is, if they are a customer of yours and you
yeah.
did screw up, or even if you don't know that you screwed up, but they think that you did, you need to come at it with empathy and compassion
Mm.
and give them a direct call to action. And you have one shot at this, because they're going to get notified when you send this response back
Okay.
on their Google account. So the response should sound something like, hey, Dom, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. We sincerely apologize that this happened to you. We looked in our notes and we weren't able to see any conversation back and forth. What we'd like to do is resolve this problem for you right now. Please contact our general manager, Phil, at blah, 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 blah,
And you
and
give your
give them,
phone number there? Like you actually
yeah,
put it out there? Might
put
as
it out
well. I
there.
mean, it's not the only place it's online, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And you get 2 things from this. The first thing is that person gets a notification that you responded to their review in their
Sure.
email inbox. And so hopefully they see this and they contact you back and say, like, call you. The second thing, which in my opinion is even more important, is that when prospective customers go to Google and
Hmm.
they're looking up businesses to work with, they're going to your reviews and they're looking at negative reviews. They're going to say like, if this roofing project goes bad, what exactly happens when someone leaves a bad review? They're going to go and they're going to read that negative review and they're going to see how the company responds or they don't respond. And they're going to make a decision on, okay, I could see this person sounds crazy that left this review. This company came back and was very apologetic and also gave a resolution or solution option. Great. That's what I want to see. If this happens on a job, what's going to happen?
Yeah. How am I going to be treated? Yeah. I mean, if you get taken to something like small claims court, or you're up in front of some other judicial, like whatever it might be, even if it's minor and you don't show up, let's say it's for a speeding ticket, you just don't show up, you're automatically guilty. And I suppose it's the same thing with a Google review. And listen, our consumers are no different than me and you. If your favorite pizza place has negative reviews, you're gonna be like, I don't understand. Like that place is fantastic. But you know that pizza place, right? Or yeah, they are crazy. They yell at their customers and we still love the pizza. We just didn't leave a review. Like you just know those things. So we're consumers as well. But I agree with you. It's important to respond in a business-like fashion. And I don't know if you've ever done this, but it sounds like your customers send you, like if they've got a heated exchange potentially coming, they're like, Phil, I want to send them this. And
well, yeah, we're more proactive. We get notified on any reviews and then we are like texting them or sending it to
you
them.
guys do it. You do it for your customers.
Yeah, we'll draft a response and send it to them first.
Yeah. So there have been times when I was maybe feeling a little more spicy. Yeah. And I've wanted to respond. What I usually do is I just write it in a Word document and I don't send it. Yeah. So I've written it and it gets out of my brain like I sent it. And then the response that they would see is, and I'd have to say that's more by email than on Google review or anything like that.
Yeah. You could just take the review and put it in ChatGPT and say, write a very pleasant response to this review. And it's going to write a beautiful one that sounds so nice.
Oh, wow. Hey, that's a takeaway, folks. You don't have to be a good writer anymore. I appreciate you saying that, Phil. This weekend, I was at a retreat in a business club I'm at. My mentor, like I have a coach too. And so we were at a business retreat and we were talking about the impact of AI, ChatGPT. Yeah. And there's so many opportunities to use it more than I'm already using it. Yeah. I refuse to use it to write my books. Just so I put that out there to everybody. That's never going to happen. But there is opportunities like this I don't have to be a great writer. I could say, here's the negative review I got. And then you give ChatGPT the prompts, the instructions, say, write a positive business-like review.
Yeah, something like that.
And I think it even gives you 3 options.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another cool thing with reviews and ChatGPT is you can connect them using Zapier, an automation tool. And basically what happens is when a review comes in, it will automatically respond to it using ChatGPT for any star level. You can say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So then you basically automate your review response process, which is important. Obviously, the negative reviews, what we do is like anything 3 and up, we auto respond. Anything 3 and below, we allow the customer and us to work on a response. But
so you respond to the positives as well.
Oh, it's so important because what happens is on your Google business profile, Google is looking for triggers that you're interacting with your customers and that you take customer service very seriously. So the more that you can respond, the more you can respond to reviews, the more triggers that Google sees. This person left a review and now someone is responding from this business. Like they must really care about their customers, and that helps elevate your rankings because they want to show quality companies.
So that translates into, if somebody types in, I'm going to keep using roofer, but we've got all sorts of trades listing here.
Roofer near me.
Yeah, roofer near me, then I'm going to show up higher, or as I gather enough momentum, higher and higher in the results. And then, I mean, I'm sure you know these. Can you share with us the statistics of how important it is to show up on the first fold of the first page?
Yeah, well, reviews are about 17% of your ranking. And so typically when we partner with companies, we come up with strategies to help them get positive reviews. So going back to your initial question was like, if you're just constantly getting negative reviews, do you have a strategy to get positive reviews?
Like improve your business.
Yeah. So like just because you're getting negative reviews, you might not have a proactive review generation campaign going on in your business. And you're just sitting back waiting for whatever reviews come in. And 9 times out of 10, those are going to be negative reviews, just people complaining.
Yeah.
So you have to be proactive with positive reviews on top of that as well. Yeah. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention. So let's say that you get a negative review, and the example that we gave was that it is your customer and you did screw something up. But let's say that you get a negative review and it's it's no one, you don't even know this person and they're leaving you a negative review, because that one comes up a lot where people are like, I don't know this person. I need to go find them and run their, motor vehicle history and all this other, crazy
Yeah.
stuff. So those ones are good, are very, very important to respond to as well, because it allows you to discredit the review. So like
Ah,
typically what we recommend is, let's say a review comes in and you don't know who this person is. You looked in your CRM, you never serviced them before. What you could say is, hey, Dom, I looked in our um, software, or I looked in our customer database and I didn't see your name in there, and I don't see any record of ever servicing you before. I'm sorry that you had a bad experience, but I don't think that it was with our customer. If you're looking to get this problem resolved, we have an excellent service of doing whatever, and we would
mm,
love to be able to accommodate and help you solve this problem. Please contact us here.
okay. So that's a really nice way to say it. So you're diffusing or you're deferring the fact that they left a bad, and it could be your competitor or your
It could
competitor's mom, or like they or a fake account, and they're just trying to drop your review
exactly.
rating.
It could be a random person, but whatever it is, you looked in your database, that person's not in there. You're discrediting their review while also saying that you would love to solve their problem. So a prospective customer that reads that review is going to see your response and say, oh, well, this is not even their customer. And wow, they went the extra mile to actually try to solve this problem for them.
I'm going to do the what if, and I don't like doing the what if game, but somebody out there might have this question. So I'm going to give them credit for it. So somebody left a negative review for you, Phil, and then you went back and responded and said, "Hey, I'm sorry you had this experience. Tell me what I can do to make it better. Here's how to contact me. Look forward to hearing from you." Can they respond again to that?
No,
It's a 1-2.
they left a review, then you respond. It's not like a commentary, like there's no comments or like back and forth. What they could do is update their review. So they could leave their original review and then put an update and then type in whatever's after that. But most people don't do that. So that's why it's so important. Like I said before, you only really get one shot at this. They get a notification, and also you only see one thing and the customer only sees one thing.
Okay.
Now they can go back in and revise their review. If they left you a 2-star and you got them to go to a 5-star, they can change it, which
Right.
ideally that's what we would want.
Yeah. Yeah. I just worry about that because I think the worst thing, and we're already in a tough situation here. So we got a 1, 2, maybe even a 3-star review. There was some negativity. I went and responded and they weren't happy with the response. Then it starts a back and forth that it's only going to go down the toilet from there. You know?
Exactly. That's why I like when you respond, make sure that you have it all tight and have your call to action with feeling sorry for them and all the stuff, and just like put it out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me switch gears here and let's get some actions on the table for the people listening. So we got business owners listening. They're either the ones doing the work themselves, or they've got, I'll say, technicians. We cover all
Yeah.
trades, technicians in the field. How do I make it easy then for my customer to leave a review? Let's not worry about good review. Let's just worry about getting a review first, and then we can talk about quality after.
Yeah. So I'll share some of the best practices that we've implemented with some businesses. So there's really like 2 or 3 ways that you can get reviews. The first one that I've seen that's very effective, we had that client that had 36 reviews, the duct cleaning company.
Yeah.
And the strategy that they do is they make these little cards, which there's like a QR code,
Yeah.
like this thing, and then they make these cards, slap a QR code on there, and then they give it to their techs and they staple them to all their work orders.
Sure.
And so that's a proactive way, and we've seen that to be very effective. The second way, and you could do the QR code thing and then also send out like an automated text message. Once a job is complete, you
Okay.
can you can send them a text message. Hey, thank you so much for choosing Phlash Roofing. If you do have, 30 seconds, please leave us a Google review here.
Yeah.
That's one way. Also on emails, let's say you send out an invoice or something like that, you can put a code in there for Google
Mm.
reviews. On your Google business profile, there is a custom link that you get by having a Google business profile. That is, if you use that link, it allows you to get Google reviews for your business. It takes them right to the page to leave you a Google
Oh,
review.
good. Good.
Yep. And
Yeah.
so that's a really easy, those are 3 ways that we've seen to be very effective.
Yeah. There's kind of a combination of those ways. I was speaking at a conference, an HVAC conference in Atlanta last year, maybe the year. No, it was last year. And Matt Cope was talking. He's from the new Flat Rate. It's a menu pricing app for
Mhm.
HVAC. And he's got great scripting, like really good scripting. And so he uses a QR code sticker. This is what they do with their clients. So a QR code, for people that are listening and aren't familiar with the name, you've all seen them. When you go to a restaurant and there's that little code on the table, you take a picture with your cell phone and it automatically goes to the menu. That's a QR code. Is that a good way to
Yeah,
describe it?
that's
Yeah.
exactly it.
So what they do, sorry, go ahead.
And you can take any URL, like any website URL or anything that's online, and turn it into a QR code
Yeah. Yeah.
for
There's
free, for free.
for free. Yeah, there's free QR code generators. We updated the QR codes in my book because I just redid my book called Construction Millionaire Secrets. I used to have the long form URL, right? So, oh, if you want this download, because people want to know the worksheet, right? So go to catch how hard this is. constructionmillionairesecrets.com. So how many typos can you put in there? / go back calculator. Oh, like I'm torturing people, right? So we had to
Yeah.
rewrite the book anyways. And so I said, well, if we're going to rewrite the book, let's make it better. So we inserted QR codes instead of the URL so that as people are reading the book, they can just snap a picture and it automatically takes them to that. Imagine
Yeah.
trying to get somebody to type in, I lose interest telling you the story. Constructionmillionairesecrets.com / go back
Exactly.
calculate. Nobody wants to see that anymore, right? Anyways, what Matt was teaching from stage, Matt Cope, he had a clipboard that their technicians carry anyways, right? And on the back of the clipboard, so that if you hold the clipboard up, the customer's facing it, is the QR code. And they had this whole script and it was sweet. So let's say, Phil, I'm talking to you and I'm the technician, right? So I'd say, hey, Phil, we're here. We fixed your hot water tank. As I said, we did A, B, and C. I also took a chance to vacuum out the catchment basin because it had a lot of dust in there, a bunch of dead spiders, and nobody's wife needs to see that. Blah, blah, blah. You do all that stuff and say, listen, my boss is going to check with you at some point to see if I did a good job. 5-star reviews mean a lot to me and my family. Would you mind? And then I hold up the clipboard. Would you mind leaving a 5-star review for me right now? That way, if it's anything less than 5 stars, tell me what I need to fix. I'll do it right now. If not, I'd love to see it because my boss is going to check. And he's got this whole great script on that. And the amount of 5-star reviews you get by asking goes through the roof.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ways that you can incentivize your employees or team to get reviews. I'll give you a couple that we've seen that work really good.
Yeah.
So one of them that works amazing is putting a point number on reviews. So let's say you get a 5-star review, Dom, and the customer uses your name in the review. Well,
okay.
that counts as 1 point, for example.
Sure.
When you get 10 points, which is like 10 reviews, then you get $100 gift card or whatever. And so then you can easily go on Google and just see how many reviews did Dom get. And then you can basically keep track of the reviews. So the company that went from 36 to 3,000 reviews, what they do is
3,000 reviews.
Yeah, 3,000 reviews.
Are you kidding me?
No. So they did this point system. And what they did was each technician on their team had a little truck. And in their break room, the truck had the guy's picture on it and his name. And each time he got a review, he moved the truck until he got to number 10.
Oh, it's like a magnet board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then when he got to 10, he got a little like star, like, on your helmet, like your son's lacrosse, he might get like little like stars when he does something good. So then on his truck, he would get a star. And so basically he's trying to fill his truck with as many stars as possible. And then when he was a 10-star technician, then he got a plaque in the break room with his picture that said 10-star technician.
Wow.
Yeah. So they like took this and like ran with it with all these ideas.
You took this and ran with it. This was your.
I helped them implement a lot of these things. Yeah. That way works good. It is a good amount of like, organization and making sure this stuff happens.
Yeah, but the net impact let's talk about the impact of the business. Was it worth doing? They went from 3 million to 5 million in how long?
That would be within about 3 or 4 years.
Okay. And the profitability went up?
Yeah, like at least like 3 or 4 times.
And how did it impact the recruiting of other new technicians?
Yeah, I mean, when someone comes in for an interview and they see these plaques with 10-star technicians and they see these trucks and they ask about it, not only are they doing a great job for the customer, but also they see that they can make, more money as they get these gift cards as well. Yeah. So it's like you get rewarded for doing a great job for the customer. It's like a win-win all around. And we actually saw one of the technicians, taking a picture of his plaque, and he's like, I'm sending this to my wife. She's going to be so proud.
Nice.
Like, how can
That's
you,
what you want. That's what you want.
yeah,
I love that
like,
kitchen table. I love thinking about the kitchen table conversation. You use a husband and his wife as the example here. When I can positively impact my employees' kitchen table, and we're doing the right things.
yeah.
Man.
One guy, so when they got to 10, when they got to 100 points, they would say like, well, what do you want? And he's like, I'm gonna get my wife a Walmart gift card for $100 so I can surprise her with it.
Oh,
Or
nice.
like, I want to take my son to a soccer game, so I need, this or whatever. Like, it was
Yeah.
like fun stuff that they could spend extra money on.
Yeah. I love it.
So
One
yeah,
the other things that go with team goals, because you want individual goals, but you want team goals as well. The one that I like the best when it comes to team goals is you have an either or prize. So let's just say you've got that system in place where for every time you hit 10 reviews, you get a star, right? But as a team, when a team hits X number by X date, so let's say at the end of the month, our goal is to hit 30 reviews. If we hit 29 or less, it's hot dogs. We get hot dog day. So that's fun, right? You're doing barbecue hot dogs. If you hit 30 or above, you get steaks. And so
I love it.
no matter what, there's a barbecue,
Yes, I
right?
love that.
But everybody's eating the hot dogs and they're like, oh, guys, we got
Yeah,
to get steaks next time, right? And if you're eating steaks one month and then hot dogs the next, you're like, boys, let's rally here. We got to get back because you're still getting hot dogs, which is great. You're still getting a meal, but it's an either or type of award. So nobody's ever being penalized for not hitting 30 in my made up example. You're still
yeah,
getting, and you could do the same thing with off-brand cola or real Coke or Pepsi, depending where you live. What's more important, but you can play with that quite a bit.
yeah, definitely. The team goals, a lot of times what happens is like the CSR team, customer service representatives or office staff,
Right.
they are like they want to play or get some type of incentive as well. And so having those team goals as an entire company of reaching a certain milestone or threshold,
Mm,
that will allow, like, let's say a guy's running late for his job, then he calls the office and the office calls the customer. Well, it allows them to all participate in great service because they all are trying to win this goal.
that's a really good point because I've let's say I've got a technician in the field and he is directly, I'm going to say he is directly related to the feedback coming in. But if he gets a 1-star review, he's not the one communicating back to the customer. It's
Exactly.
somebody else. So if it's a CSR or your office manager or whoever or yourself, if it's yourself as the owner, folks, let's just blow past that one right now. But if you've got your office manager or a CSR doing it, where's the incentive for that person to convert ones into something else? So you should have a little prize incentive for them too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's why the team goal I think is so important is because, and that's what this company did too. They had all the different check boxes.
Categories.
So
Yeah, yeah.
the whole team wins basically.
Right.
But I definitely think a team goal is something that's important because the CSR team, what before we had a team goal, the technicians would be like, well, you're sending me out to this job and this person's upset and they're going to leave me a 1-star review or they're not going to leave me a review. So they would get
Mm,
upset because that was the case. And so by working together as a team, it was like, we're all working at this together.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that's a real consistent, how do I say this? It's not a theme, but one of the things that I find very consistent among the listeners of this is that they're strong in their faith, whatever their faith is. And so I wonder if there's a way to add this and say, look, if say this to the public, look, when our company gets to 50 or 500 reviews, we're going to do this piece of charitable or mission work or give a donation. So there's a nice wrap in there. I mean, you got to be careful that you're not going too far over because it's business, not our personal side. But there is an opportunity to say we're going to donate to the children's playground. I'm just going to say that, right? So
Yeah.
then you've got probably a pretty cool social media opportunity to take a picture, hand over a check, the big fake cardboard check,
Yes.
3 feet high by 4 feet wide,
Yeah.
long. Um, yeah, but I guess the opportunities are endless to turn this into more social media and really more good. You're trying to add more value to the market.
Yeah. We had one example with a company. They went from 10 reviews to 75 reviews in 1 month. And we had just started with them and we're like, let's come up with an idea. And so the idea was, let's reach out to our customers when we
Mm,
do the job or even past customers and then ask them to leave us a Google review. And they would be entered into a drawing every single month for a $100 Amazon gift card. And
sure.
so then when the technician's out there, they're like, leave me a review. But also as a company, we like to say thank you. So we do a drawing every single month for one review, and whoever wins gets $100 gift card.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So then the
Does
customer's
it
like,
does it have to be a 5-star review? I usually
yeah,
like to ask for an honest review. I mean, for me, I just ask for honest reviews. But I
yeah,
wonder,
yeah.
what do you do in that case? Do you ask for an honest review or 5-star reviews? Like you get entered only for a 5-star?
Yeah. So there's a whole thing about this, like coaching or like scripting and stuff of like, should you be telling people to leave you a
Yes.
5-star review or
Yes.
just saying like an
Yes.
honest review to your
Yes.
point? You had mentioned Yelp in the beginning, and Yelp actually has been crushed by a lot of people because they will scrub reviews from their platform. I'm sure
I hate Yelp.
listeners, yeah,
I'm not supposed to
okay.
speak negatively, but I have challenges with Yelp.
Yeah. So there's a new law that came out with the Federal Trade Commission. This was back in like October that basically said you cannot suppress reviews, good or bad. It's against the law.
Hmm.
And so Yelp lately has been allowing reviews to come through. And in my opinion, it's going to be changing even more. We're Yelp partners, so we talk with Yelp on a monthly basis. But that's going to be changing for a lot of these people because I know business owners are like, Yelp sucks because they, scrape my reviews, whatever. But that's going to be changing. And so, but they also have a thing where you can't solicit reviews, is what they say, which is basically like you can't ask people to leave you Yelp reviews.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
what about House? Do you know anything about House reviews?
Yeah. They don't have anything against it,
Yeah. No,
to my
but
knowledge.
I suppose the same thing follows, though. The same formula follows for all reviews, whether it's on House, Houzz. If
Yeah.
anybody's not familiar with that, there's a whole bunch.
Thumbtack. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different ones that are out there.
Yeah. We get a bunch of review. I'm trying to remember the name of the review site. Starts with a P.
Porch,
No. It's
patch.
but it's great. But the one thing I noticed on that particular review site is that if you don't get reviews month over month, your overall reviews start to drop. Like they
So it's like a
penalize you.
rolling average or something.
Yeah, they penalize you for not having consistent reviews, which is, okay.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. But you got to get the reviews. And I'm just, you know what, I'll just keep doing my thing. I'm not going to live for the review companies. But if I'm an owner though listening to this and I have to prioritize because I'm short on time, getting good reviews on Google, on Yelp, or on House or some other platform, what would be the highest priority to give me the best return in my company?
So I'll answer this question holistically. The first thing I would do is just look in your market because let's say that you're in a very competitive market and your competitors have 1,000 reviews and you have 10.
Mm-hmm.
If there's three other companies that have 1,000 reviews, it's going to be hard to outrank them because you got to get up to 1,000 reviews.
Sure.
This I'm talking Google reviews specifically.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Google is all about your organic rankings. So if you're in a market where you have someone out there that has 100 reviews and someone has 50 and you have 30, well, then go all in on Google because it affects your rankings. And Google, don't go try to create demand, on social media, just capture it where it's at. So I would do that first. If you're in an extremely competitive market and you're spending $5,000 on, Thumbtack or House or something else, well, then wherever you're spending all your ad budget, focus on getting reviews there as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be my 2 cents on those two things.
Now, from time to time, even I get these emails. People are offering you paid reviews. They're like, "We'll get you reviews."
Yeah.
Um,
That
we
I would not do.
Thank you. Right. So we should stay away from somebody who says, "I've got an army of people in this country. They're all going to create an account and leave you a review." Why? Tell us about that
Yeah.
shortcut.
Yeah. So let's take that company that has 3,000 Google reviews, for example. Imagine how much business comes from their Google business profile.
Hmm.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars each month comes from their Google business profile alone.
Sure.
If you pay for fake Google reviews,
Mm-hmm.
Google will see the IP address. They'll see that something's different about all these reviews coming in, that something is different. If they shut down your Google business profile, guess what shuts off all that revenue that's coming in as well?
All of it.
Yeah. And then guess what? If you have to start over with a new one, all that work for the past 5, 10, 20 years to get to that point is now gone and you have to restart.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it.
No, I'm glad you
Especially,
said that though, because we get inundated. And if it's a shortcut and somebody says, look, for $300, I'll get you 300 reviews. And we can do it in this foreign country and we got this workaround. We know Google better than anybody. Stay away.
yeah,
Stay away.
absolutely. Like if you have customers that you've done quality work for, if you're sending out like an email newsletter to them, or you're going to put together some type of a campaign or something to ask them, do that. Also, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a customer of yours. If there's anyone that would give you a recommendation, whether
Mhm.
that's a friend or family member, they can also leave a review for you because it's a recommendation to use you.
Oh,
So yeah,
so
if
my mom could leave a review for my business.
absolutely your
Jimmy is my
vendors.
son. He's my first son. That is all I will say.
Exactly.
but
But like your
you could,
vendors, your
right?
subs, like all these people
Oh,
would,
you could ask your vendors,
yeah, all
ask
these
your other
people would
subs.
already vouch for you and recommend you. So why not ask them for a review?
Yeah. I suppose going back to Chat GPT, I could pre-write a bunch of reviews to, let's say we chose our vendors, the people that sell us stuff, and say, look, we'd like to ask you for a review. Reviews are important for our business. I know it's going to take some time. So I took the liberty of writing 3 or 4 different reviews. Feel free to use one of these so you don't have to come up with it on your own.
So you could do that. I would be a little leery of scripting because if Google gets 10 reviews and they're all the same thing,
Ah, okay, sure.
they may say, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So usually, because sometimes business owners will say, well, should I tell them like, mention hot water heaters and this because like that's what we do. And it's like try to make it more organic in what they say. Like let them use
Mm.
their own terms and maybe just like, hey, can you mention a hot water heater in here or roofing or whatever in here? But yeah, I wouldn't give them the exact script because it could look a little wonky to Google.
A little. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what Google can see and the types of things they search for. Obviously we don't know. Nobody knows the algorithm, but they're pretty smart at what they do, so they know how to do it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And we talked about ChatGPT, but also Google has Bard, and Bard is another platform just like ChatGPT. And in my opinion, Bard is going to be even more impactful than ChatGPT because Bard pulls in all the data that people are searching, everyone's Gmails, everyone's Google Docs, everyone's Google Analytics on
Oh
their
my
website,
gosh.
and it's getting all that data. Where
Mm,
ChatGPT is just something that people have
scraping the net.
compiled. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So much to think about here. And I think the biggest takeaway I got from this is look at your current reviews and respond to all of them.
Absolutely.
And then even the negative reviews, respond professionally and ask if you can, fix things.
Yes,
And then look for consistencies in your reviews and see what needs to be fixed in your business. Can I
absolutely.
can I add one other thing?
Yeah,
Because quite often people are like, I don't know what my customers want. We do, I'll just say roofing, or we do siding, or we do lawns. It doesn't matter what the trade is. We renovate homes. How am I going to find out what my customer really wants? I don't know what they want. Go look at your competitors' reviews and see what is consistently said by their top reviewers or people that are negative about them. But don't stop there. Right. So if you live in Chicago, go look up another similar company to you in Detroit or in Houston or something, just to get a sense of what customers are saying. You don't just have to see the world through your own city's eyes. Believe it or not, customers are customers everywhere, right? So if you're in Toronto, it's okay to see what somebody says in Vancouver or in Ottawa, right? And if you're in Australia, do the same thing, but just get a sense of what customers are talking about. Then you'll know what they value because they've written it in the review. Years ago, I was dealing with an HVAC company that had just a horrendous situation happen where the 2 brothers took over from the father, and then one of the brothers died like from a small cough to gone in 6 months. It was very
oh
sad.
my gosh.
I came in after that, and the brother remaining was under incredible stress. He was now supporting his mom because they were still paying out the parents. He was supporting his sister-in-law and nieces and nephews, and then by the way, he has his own family.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guy was just a shell, like incredible amount of stress. And so we started talking about what do we need to do to turn this around. So aside from the business side, we had to do what was important to his customers. And he's like, well, what's important to the customers? And he went and said all these technical things, like you got to do this, you got to do that. You got to understand how the control capacitor does this, the brown wire and the blue wire. Okay, all that stuff. I'm like, I don't think they care about that. Let's ask the customers. And the customers came back with the craziest stuff. Don't wear your dirty boots in my house. Show up when you said you're going to show up. And I forget, but I think the third one was charge me what you said you were going to charge me. Those were the things the customers cared about. So I would learn that if I went and read the reviews of somebody else. These guys said it was going to be $299 and they charged me 350. Okay, wow. Okay, so we got a price problem. These guys had dirty boots in my house. Okay, so now I can build my company based on customer feedback that I already know is out there.
Absolutely. It's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. And so when you look at that customer experience and the customer journey through every single step,
Yeah.
think about if this was your mom or your sister or your dad, how would they feel going through your customer experience process? And
Mm,
if they're not wowed or they don't remember your name, then you're probably leaving something on the table from a great experience for them.
yeah. A lot to think about. Thank you. We've gone
Absolutely.
long. We've gone long on this, Phil.
Awesome.
Yeah, it
Hopefully it
is
was
good.
valuable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have absolutely. Well, hey, listen, you're already going to be on the other podcast too. So I kind of knew talking to you, you'd have a
Good.
lot of value. If people are curious or interested or maybe more confused, maybe we confused them more, but they have questions. How do we find you in this big wide world?
Yeah, so Phlash Consulting, it's Phlash. We do complete marketing audits for businesses and we meet for 30 minutes and we give you the blueprint and roadmap,
Oh,
regardless if we work together or not. It basically goes through an audit of your entire marketing system
hmm,
and then tells you, like, hey, you should do these things. And so it's very beneficial. People love it and it's completely free, which is why we do it to add value out into the
yeah,
world. So that would be the
and it's a
best
half
way.
hour.
Yeah, we meet for 30 minutes. Like I'll be on the call, me and a
Oh,
team member of mine.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And sorry, where do we? How do we find that? Where do we?
Flashconsulting.com. You can go there and it'll say discuss your business and
Yeah, I think a lot of people listen as an audio, so they don't know that Flash is spelled
P H L A
PHLASH
S
because it's
H.
Phil and Ashley.
That's right.
Flash, right? Did I get that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
I
right.
got it right.
Yeah.
I got it right. Okay. Well, Phil, great to have you on. I'm looking forward to having you on the next on the other show as well because we're going to be talking about similar things but a different topic.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. Look forward to it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Phil. Have a great day.
All right, see you, man.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Well. Thank you, Mr. Phil Risher from Phlash Contracting. What did you learn about negative Google reviews? I wrote down a bunch of things here. Look at the process. What's the consistency? Um, did you get a negative review from somebody who's not even your customers? How to respond to that, making sure you respond. The importance of having scripting and training for your team. I was just talking just today, with some coaching clients. It's a power couple, husband and wife team. They run a renovations company. They are growing and they're growing. I can't say they're growing by leaps and bounds. They're growing smart. They're getting more profitable on every job by job. They just did a trade show. And last year we weren't sure if they were going to do trade shows anymore, but they said, no, Dom, I think trade shows are our thing. But what they did differently at this trade show than they've done in the past is they trained their team and gave them expectations before they went into the trade show. As a result, they got 9 first appointments. They got 9 leads from the trade show. They didn't get that kind of number before, but what they did gave them the results, right? They changed their input and got a different output using my fancy language. So they told their team, hey, look, our goal from this trade show is to qualify, is to meet people, build real relationships, and qualify them to see if they're ready to do a reno. And your second job is to get an appointment booked. They got 9 appointments. Imagine, let's say they spent 9 grand going into that trade show, all in. Well, that means they spent $1,000 per appointment. If they close, let's say 1 out of 3, so a 33% conversion rate, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And they're going to make, let's see, their average dollar sale. So their average sale size is about 100 grand. So they spent 9 grand. They're probably going to make in the neighborhood of 300 grand. Is that a good return? When you do little changes in your business consistently, week over week, month over month, the little decisions start to add up. The little positive decisions start to add up and give you bigger and bigger results. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 anymore. 1 + 1 equals 5 because you've got momentum, right? At the same time, if you just operate your business, if I operate my business every week and I don't make changes and I don't make changes, changes and fade to black, right? That's just the reality. So Phil's talking about some great things today. Take advantage, make those changes. Remember my crazy little morel mushroom story. There's opportunities out there for you to take small changes and make a big impact in your business. By the way, in the episode, I was talking about there was a testimonial platform that I forgot the name of. It's called Trustpilot. If you want to leave a review for the podcast, I would appreciate it very much. Leave the review on Apple Podcasts or on Google Play, wherever you listen to the podcast. And again, it's not for me, it's for those who have yet to find this message. Somebody who's operating out of frustration, somebody who is looking down at the ground saying, but I just want to grow. And they don't know that this podcast and these quality guests are out there for them to listen to. So if you leave a review, they're going to see that review and hopefully they come and join us here in our big, huge, happy community. All right, right now let's go and simplify and solve a common problem. There's a new freebie that I put together for the year, and you might not have had a chance to hear about it or see it yet. It's called How to Be Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. But what I did is it's not just about being healthy, wealthy, and wise. There's also the personal, family, and business component to it. So it's definitely a download you're going to want. You're going to want to have it on your hard drive. So reach out to me, get this download, put it on your hard drive, and you can use it today, tomorrow, whenever. But the second thing, and I had to learn this, is you can give this to your team. So I've got people that I already work with that have taken this exercise and given it to their, their project managers, their foremen, et cetera, and said, what do you want for 2024? And so they've actually gone and used my tools that I intend for business owners. They've used them internally for their leadership team. So imagine you've got somebody running your bookkeeping department. There's an internal leader. Then you've got a foreman of some sort. There's a leader. And maybe you've got an estimator. There's a leader. Maybe you got a project manager. There's a leader. Maybe you've got your partner or your spouse. There's another leader. Well, if you're wondering about what to do to have really impactful meetings with your team, use this, like somebody else that I know just did. Not mentioning any names. James. Did I say names, James? That's not really his name. James is. So anyways, the worksheet is called the Contractor's Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise Planner. And it lays out for you in a grid format an easy to digest way to peel apart your business, peel apart the layers of the onion and put them back together. So you got to imagine across the top is the words healthy, wealthy, and wise. And along the side is personal, family, and business. And there's a whole worksheet here that shows you how to go through this and get the value out of it so you can create your own goals for the year. Now, you may have heard me say this in a previous episode, but understanding where I am today and where I want to get to is the basis of business coaching. It's the basis of a business turnaround. It's if I go in and I buy your company, I'm going to say, where are we today? Without any, just give me the facts. I don't want any fluff, the facts. Okay, that's where we are. We are where we are. Now, where do we want to get to? That's the goal. The gap between where we are today and where we want to get to, the gap becomes the goal. And that's what I'll work on. And I do the same when I work one-on-one with a client. My coaches do the same when they work with our clients. The gap becomes the goal. And every business owner is a little different. You might think that everybody has the same company as you. Everybody is like a home renovator. Everybody's a roofer. Everybody does air duct cleaning like Phil. No, that's not true. That's not true. And even if the competitor across the street is a cabinetry company or a kitchen renovation company, they're not structured the same as you. You're a husband and wife team. They're two brothers. You're a husband and wife team. They are a low-cost provider serving new immigrants to the country. I'm just going to say that. I've got a picture in my mind of who that is already. They're just not the same. It's not the same at all. Just run your business. Let everybody else watch you and golf clap. We're going to run our show. Let them do their thing. Anyways, you need this healthy, wealthy, and wise planner to help you and your team build your own reality, get to where you want, identify where we are today, where we want to get to next. The gap becomes the goal. Anyways, if you want it, shoot me a text. My cell phone number is 315-903-7853. Just text me the words healthy, wealthy, wise, and then I know which one to send you. So just one more time, I'll say the cell phone number, 315-903-7853. And then just say healthy, wealthy, and wise. And then boom, we send this off to you and you have the worksheet to grow your business with. Thanks, folks, for checking in. As I have said, this show is just a holdover. It's just a gap until you and I have a chance to have a coffee or a glass of wine or whatever you choose to have at that time of day. But we're sitting across the same table talking like real humans. I really, really look forward to that day. But until then, this podcast is going to have to do. All right, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.